So when we go to the scriptures and hear about rehearsing the righteous acts, it's for a time to come, as we see with all the current events and things that are happening in the earth right now, that these feast days are becoming more and more relevant, or they should be for Yahshua. And the seriousness, that's why when you look in the scriptures and you read about a solemn assembly, not to forsake yourselves, because we're going to need each other in these last days. You know, that's something me and Captain Yashub talk about, as well as Captain Ram, and just, you know, think about these last days, these end time prophecies. And so we don't have a lot of time to all the division, all the back and forth with one another. All those things are distractions. You know, we see in the world with, of course, the P. Diddy's and all the things that are going on. But again, all distractions to keep us divided and focused on the wrong thing. We need to be focused on these said prophecies and making sure that the Most High is going to be with us. And that's what Tabernacles is all about. Matter of fact, somebody grab me Matthew 1:23 real quick. If I could get a reader. I know some of y'all been drinking last night and y'all look a little finished. But hopefully the spirit will revive you. I know the flesh is weak. The spirit is willing. All right. So those who got a willing spirit and want to read with power, you can go ahead and read. I'm going to call on Hezekiah.
Matthew 1:23.
Give me Matthew 1:23.
Matthew 1:23. And he came and dwelt in the city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled. What?
Matthew 1. Matthew.
I got it.
Okay.
Matthew 1:23. Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel.
Now that's very important. What does the word Emmanuel mean? Right, and it's going to tell you that in the text. But that's so important because that's speaking about this day. It's speaking about Tabernacles and the arriving of Hamashiach YAHAWAH'S, which essentially is Israel's deliverance. So read again from the top.
Matthew 1:23. Behold, a virgin shall be with child.
Read with power.
Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which being interpreted is God with us.
That's perfect. Being interpreted, God with us, or the Most High with us, Yahweh with us. And that's what we're going to need to be victorious. And so I want us to have the mindset of this Tabernacles, making sure that in order for the Most High to be with you, these were the prophecies for Yahshua. There's something that you have to make sure that you're prepared, and that you have to be in the place and be that acceptable sacrifice so that he would dwell amongst us. So we're going to take a look at that and really what this day is incumbent of. Somebody grab me the book of Leviticus 23, and we're going to read verse 39, and we're going to read down to 43. Captain Ram, if you want to grab that.
Leviticus 23:39. Also in the 15th day of the seventh.
You can select it. Start at 34, and then we'll go to 39.
Leviticus 23:34. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be the feast of tabernacles, for 7 days unto the Most High. On the first day shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein. That's where we're at, and that's why we're not working in a holy convocation as a gathering. And people got to remember, that's law. That's law. If you can gather, you're to gather. Now, we know, of course, with the women, a lot of times they weren't able to gather for different obvious reasons, children, cycles, and all types of things. But hold that right there. Give me Deuteronomy 16 and 16. This is Deuteronomy 16:16. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before Yahweh thy power.
That's very important. I want you to keep in mind, this is the requirement in order for the Most High to be with you. And what we looked at on last week when we were talking about, it's in affliction, and when we afflicted our souls for atonement, it's in our affliction where the Most High shows up, right? It's because that's where we're most humble. another level of humility is when you obey what the Most High says. That's the ultimate level of humility. That's the ultimate level of bowing down oneself. And that's the proving to see if you're worthy to have his presence. So when all these enemies, we see the lights in the sky, those people don't have no refuge over in Lebanon, over in Israel, Iran. They're not going to have Beirut. They don't have that refuge to look to. All you can hear, I was even listening to people screaming and people yelling. But for Israel, we are so favored as his people that he made provision for us that he would be amongst us in these times of adversity, in these short times to happen. And the Most High is showing us where it's happening all over the world. This is the promise that he made to our foreparents, that he would not utterly forsake us. He wouldn't forsake us. Because what if he was to leave us to what these other nations are going through? You know, we're going to have that protection, but it's going to take the sacrifice of humility, of meekness, of contriteness. And that's why I say in these last days, beloved, that's what you got to start praying for. Pray for meekness, pray for humility. Forget all the other stuff. Nobody care about no daggone car, no house, none of that carnal stuff. You want what's going to bring your power to you to be your defense. Because whenever he wasn't with us, we lost. Whenever he wasn't with us, we were defeated. There were times he told us, don't even go to fight. I'm not with you. All right? You're going to lose. So if you're losing now in your life, know that it's probably because the Most High is not with you. You want to make sure that you position yourself so you can be confident that YAHAWAH'S, this is the purpose he sent his son to us, is so that he could dwell. That's what we read in Matthew 1:23. That he could tabernacle with us. That's what it means to dwell with us. We see we got a covering for the elements, but what about, do you have a covering from the Most High's judgment? That's what you need to worry about. Do I have a covering from the Most High's judgment? The only covering I'm going to have that's going to cause me to prevail is him. He's got to be my covering, right? All right, so read where I had you.
Come, in the place which he shall choose.
Uh-huh.
In the feast of unleavened bread.
Right.
And in the feast of weeks.
Right.
And in the feast of tabernacles.
Come on.
And they shall not appear before Yahweh empty.
Come on.
Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Most High, thy power.
And this is the Most High seeing, are you, and it's not just monetary, but it's also, this has to do with your character. Because we know now we're living sacrifices. When we show up to these feast days, have we had the appropriate character for him to dwell with us? That's why he gave us the Day of Atonement, so we could get right. Right? They say get right or you get left. You know, we don't want to be left behind. You know, you see these movies, Left Behind, all these things. We definitely don't want to be left behind. They know their end. They know their fate, you know.
Which he hath given thee. That's in that.
Okay, yeah, that's all I want. So go back to Leviticus 23:34. The most, this is a command that all males, because guess what? The male represents in the household, the covering. We're the protectors, right? And I tell you, in these last days, what you cannot defend, you can't keep. It's not yours if you can't defend it. If you don't have any defense, I'm gonna give you just a tangible. When these race wars pop off, and when people start looking for food, when people start just looking for shelter, guess what? Your next door neighbors become your enemy. All right? Your neighbors become your enemy. And what you can't protect, it belongs to them. What you can't defend belongs to them. And we need to have that mindset. You know, I say oftentimes, you're behind enemy lines. If they've taken your culture, your heritage, you think when times get rough that they ain't gonna try to take you again? They done took you before from your homeland. So we gotta have the mentality, man, if I can't protect this is not mine. So how much more having the protection of the Most High? He shall be your defense. He shall be your refuge. Vengeance is his. You see what I'm saying? So we need to make sure that we have the right character so that he will dwell amongst us. That's all part of salvation. If you're in this for any other reason, if it's just about debates and contentions and going back and forth, see how smart you are. Smart ain't gonna protect you in the days of destruction.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a lot of smart dead people. You know, oh, he was smart. Now he has no protection. You know, now you got the smart guy stuff. You know, come on, because he was spoiled. Read.
Leviticus 23:34. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Most High.
See, 7 days, which we know he wants us to do this so that we show him that we're worthy of him completely. Know the 7 days? The 7 days, and we know that number 7, we hear it all the time, is completion. But for us to complete it, now, guess what? Now you're completely covered when you obey him. Oh, they kept my feast 7 days. Guess what? That's completion. I'm obligated as the Most High. You see what I'm saying? Read on.
Come, on the first day, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein.
Right.
7 days you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High. On the 8th day shall be a holy convocation unto you, and you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein. These are the feasts of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and drink offerings, everything upon his day.
Everything upon this day was drink offerings, sacrifices, burnt offerings. All this stuff was going on this day. Now keep in mind, this is the 15th day of that 7th month. So provision was made where there were fires being lit. Everything was being done on this day. And like I said, that's a topic we got to have for discussion. But you have to read within the text what was going on this day. And then you would have to reconcile to yourself, well, you know, Sabbaths, and how do the Sabbaths fit in if burnt offerings were happening, if certain things that the Sabbath dictates that it shouldn't happen. So these are just questions, and you know, we'll get into some of that, like Radio Shack. We got questions, the Most High got answers. All right, so what verse you at?
38.
Verse
38. Beside the Sabbaths of the Most High.
Beside the Sabbaths of the Most High. So this was your responsibility. You had to do this in the way that it was instructed to do, right? Along with the Sabbaths, all right? Because we see throughout the scripture that even the first day of the day of trumpets was actually, it was a Sabbath. It tells you it was a Sabbath, but it doesn't mean it was a 7-day Sabbath. Doesn't mean it was a Sabbath, but it was a Sabbath. Read on.
Beside the Sabbaths of the Most High, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings, which ye shall give unto the Most High.
You hear that? You hear all about the giving, what's required of you. You know, Creflo Dollar, man, sometimes I just listen to see where people at, and it's hard to stomach. I know y'all know as an Israelite, once you get immersed in this truth, some things you hear and you just like, man, I got to cut the TV off, man. But Creflo, he did it again. It's amazing. I just recently watched him, and he said, you don't have to do nothing. Did you? Yeah, he just recently said, you don't have to do. That's totally opposite of what Hamashiach YAHAWAH'S said. He said, you don't have to do nothing, that it's all on faith. You don't have to do nothing. I had to cut the TV off. I said, I can't take it no more.
Elder, real quick,
Go ahead, bring it up.
to that word, convocations, a lot of times we just associate it with assembly,
Right.
but it's also rehearsals.
That's right.
You know,
Absolutely.
When you go into the definition of that word.
Bring it out. That's good. Yeah, convocations, the whole thing, even feasts, which, you know, we've said before, feast is not necessarily eating. And, you know, Jake, we got a real insatiable appetite. When we hear that word feast, that's the first thing that comes to mind. But a feast is also synonymous with a festival, right? You got a festival and then an appointment. So in the Hebrew, the mindset of a feast is a moedim. The true feasts are the appointments of the Most High. You see what I'm saying? So that's what is incumbent of the feast. And like I said, convocations, gathering. You have to gather. And the Most High, this is your responsibility to get him to dwell with you. So you don't want to slack on this. This is the last thing. And in these last days, we can't be slack, man. Most High is not slack. So we can't. You want him to be slack in your defense? You want him to be slack when Esau coming to your door and look, it got, guns drawn, talking about, I want everything in your house is mine. No.
You think about it, this might look bugged out to people driving by all these tents out here, but we rehearsing.
We're rehearsing the right.
If we ain't practicing to do this, when something go down, you ain't gonna be ready.
Esau's military rehearses all the time.
Right.
They rehearse more than they fight.
Right.
I was a part of that nonsense. It's so embedded in your brain that that's your job when you sleep.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You're always thinking when you're in the military. Look how they say you retired from the military 20-some years. So you're military minded all those years. And then even afterwards, they call us what? Veterans. That's your first and foremost. Over in Israel, man, I was watching, and man, it looked like regular people had automatic assault rifles. Everybody was equipped. You see what I'm saying? We have to make sure that we have the defense, but we have to have the mentality of keeping the Most High on our mind, in the forefronts of our mind, and that's with the complete observance of his instructions. That's the only way we're going to get out. This is the only way that militaries, they defeat their enemy, when they execute their plans. That's why they keep going over and over, and it becomes second nature. When I was in Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and I was on the front line over there, do you know I got calmer the worst things got? When bombs was going off, I mean, you could hear your truck would shake. My truck was shaking, and we were shooting at the enemy, and it was boom. My truck was shaking. You could see fire. It was 2, 3 o'clock in the day. Those oil fields were burning. You couldn't even see your hand in front of your face. But the military teach you it's in combat because you train for this, and now you're in it. So this is what we've been rehearsing for, beloved. Times is coming. Read on.
Got a preset.
Bring it out.
And kind of what Cap was going into, and what you're going to as well. When I was doing training, when I was in Esau's army, my drill instructor, he said, when you go into a zone, by switching your magazines out when you're firing, and that comes from rehearsal, and it's something called muscle memory.
Right.
Where you got that muscle memory, and you kind of go right to what you're doing. This is Judges 5:11. It says, they that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the places of drawing water, and when you go into that place of drawing water, that go into servitude.
Right,
that go into
captivity.
bondage. There shall they rehearse the righteous acts. So he's saying every time we were in captivity, we still rehearse the righteous acts.
Who came out of Egypt?
Israel.
Yeah. What were we?
Slaves.
Yeah, kind of slaves.
But when we started leaving Egypt, what did we become? Army.
Army.
No, that's right.
We were an army that left. You see what? So that's the mindset we got to have about leaving this Egypt. You got to be military minded. All right. Read on.
Leviticus 23:38. Beside the Sabbaths of Yahawah, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings, which ye give unto the Most High. Also, in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Most High. 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. And ye shall take you on the first day of the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice before Yahawah, your power, 7 days.
So even the rejoicing, us rejoicing now, is us having a relationship with the Most High, knowing that we're going to be defended in the day of destruction. A lot of times we react, knee-jerk reactions after something, or when we're in the thick of it. By you doing this now, you're ensuring a victory later. That's why we keep the commandments. That's why the enemy is so busy trying to get you off of keeping the commandments, because he don't want you to be protected. He don't want you to be defended in these last days against the enemy. All right. What verse you at?
Verse number 41.
Read on.
And ye shall keep it a feast unto Yahweh 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations.
Come on.
Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month.
That's where we are. Verse 42.
Ye shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths.
That's also symbolizing these are the ones that's going to be protected.
Right.
These are the only people that's going to be protected. Why didn't he have all nations shall dwell in booths? No, we know what this symbolizes. We know what we worship.
Right.
All right?
That's right.
That's why YAHAWAH'S is what he said. Come on.
That's the same like the blood on the doorpost.
Absolutely.
All those things on your tent, on your booth, you know what I mean? He know to pass over.
To pass over. That's right. He said it won't come nigh our dwelling. You know? Read on.
Verse 43. That your generations may know.
We got another chair back there. Yeah. Jay, it's a chair back here.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right, go ahead.
Leviticus 23:43. That your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am your power. Yahweh your power.
You see how important it is us to do this? Read that part again.
Come.
You're doing it. This is a sign to the generation after us, to the generation if we last that long, and to the generation that's, right here with us. It's a sign. That's why it's so important that we have the correct characters to show our children, so that they can show their children and they can understand why we're doing this. And guess what you're doing? You're protecting your children. If you don't do this, they're not going to be protected. The Most High won't dwell with them. And now they're going to be destroyed.
Right.
Now they belong to somebody else. Look, isn't it crazy? Because we didn't celebrate Tabernacles correctly, we got taken. Because we had no defense. It goes back to what I said. What you can't defend, you can't keep. We couldn't even keep our own souls because we had no defense. Read on.
This is real quick to kind of land me back on what you're saying, priest. This is Wisdom of Solomon 3. I'm gonna start at verse 1 and I'm gonna end at 3.
Mm-hmm.
She prospered their works in the hands of the holy prophet. They went through the wilderness that was not inhabited and pitched tents in the places where there lay no way. They stood against their enemies. And
Stop right there. Even for so that's powerful.
Yeah.
Look how we're in captivity now. We're pitching tents. And like what Captain said, it look crazy to people driving by what you doing. But this is a sign that we are those Jews. Man. We are the Israelites. Read.
Verse 2, they went through the wilderness that was not inhabited and pitched tents in places where there lay no way. They stood against their enemies and were avenged of their adversaries.
Ooh, that's a fire scripture. That epitomizes everything that was just said. This is our defense. You're doing this. And it's amazing because they did it. That's why we're doing it. All praises. Read on.
That your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt.
Dwelling in booths is synonymous with deliverance. Dwelling in these more of our people would do it. How many Negroes out here running around having a good time on Saturday? Mm-hmm. And knowing that when the Most High, when he comes, just like Cap said, if that blood ain't on the door, if the life of YAHAWAH, because the life of YAHAWAH was keeping Tabernacles. The life of YAHAWAH was keeping Passover. Imagine all our people that's not going to have the protection. And this is why we get out in the streets and do what we do, to save our people, man. When you teach them to keep laws, statutes, commands, you're literally saving them and their children.
And look, he said, I made them.
Come on.
I made the children of Israel. So why are they telling us not to do it?
Right? Come on. That's heavy. I mean, he put emphasis on it. The Most High made them to do it through all our trials and tribulations. And now you telling people, like Creflo, you don't have to do nothing. That's why I see him as somebody you need to jump across the counter and choke the life out of him. Because he's killing our people. He's worse than a machine gun. He's worse than a school shooter.
That's right. And that's crazy though. Look at that. He said if the people don't pay tithes to give the machine guns to all the deacons in the house.
Look at that. You can't make this up. He's killing the people though.
Right.
For filthy lucre, for money. All right, give me the book of Numbers 34 and 13. Notice that our wandering in the wilderness that's your tribulation. Coming out of Egypt was your that was your affliction to bring you to deliverance. That's what this is ultimately about. Everything that we're going through, even in this lifetime.
31.
We can start at 34, verse 13. Numbers 34 and 13.
Numbers 34 and 13. And Moses commanded the children of Israel, saying, This is the land which ye shall inherit by lot, which the Most High commanded to give unto the 9 tribes and to the half tribe. For the tribe of the children of Reuben, according to the house of their fathers, and the tribe of the children of Gad, according to the house of their fathers, have received their inheritance, and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance. The 2 tribes and the half tribe have received their inheritance on this side Jordan, near Jericho, eastward toward the sun rising. Verse 16.
No, leave it there. But go back to 13. Read it one more time.
Numbers 34 and 13. And Moses commanded the children of Israel, saying, This is the land which ye shall inherit by lots, which the Most High commanded to give unto the 9 tribes and to the half tribe.
Now you notice it was those that didn't obey that caused the split. Those that didn't keep the tabernacles, that was caused the split, and that's where they went off into adultery, all types of heathen practices, man. And when we don't keep these commandments, you become a prey to the enemy now to seduce you, because you don't have no covering. This is our protection. Now the enemy can seduce, because you didn't have Sukkot or Sukkot, you didn't have tabernacles, you didn't afflict your souls. So now he got you. He got you, and he can pull you away from the commandments. You know, when we keep these feasts, it's to remind us the severity of keeping the commandments, even as this is a modern wilderness. That's all this is. This is a modern wilderness, and we should keep it for our protection. Give me Ezekiel 20, 34 and 38.
Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 30. You said 34?
4, come.
Ezekiel 20, 34. As I live, saith the Most High Power, surely with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people.
Woo, come on. You gotta be worthy of this though. And it's keeping tabernacle. Israel would never got deliverance if they didn't keep tabernacle. If they didn't keep these feast days, there's no deliverance to the disobedient. So it's so important. Look at all the Christians that's not doing this. You think he's gonna spare them? No, he's not sparing none of our people that don't obey what YAHAWAH'S did. His whole purpose, he's coming back on a feast day. Emmanuel. Matthew 1:23, God with us. That's tabernacles. When was the Most High with us? In tabernacles. That's when he showed up. That's when he delivered us. Read on.
Come, and I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out from the countries.
We all gonna get together. We all gonna see Jesus Christ and be one happy family. Read again from the top. What did he say he gonna do?
And I will bring you out from the people.
He gonna take us from amongst these people. Come on.
And will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered.
Come on.
With a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm.
Come on.
And with fury poured out.
Come on.
And I will
Remember what he did in Egypt. He killed their firstborn son
Right.
to deliver ours. He killed all the firstborn in the land. We forget how gangster the Most High is, man. We forget. We forget. I'm a kill your children to save my children. Plain and simple. I'm killing your whole family. Even your animals got to go. I'm killing them too. So you know that I'm that G. I'm that gangster. I'm that power. That's the only way people get it.
Con.
Think about it.
Yep.
That's the only way you get it. Read.
It ain't till you get that whooping.
It's to-
when you start to obey.
Man, look, the United States is a military power. They didn't get their power from not killing. America was established on murder,
On murder, yeah. Genocide.
on genocide. Hey, look, got our people scared of the police. How in the world, and this is how you know it's through indoctrination and fear, how in the world a weak police officer, now you know a lot of them are weak. You know if they put the belt down and everything, and didn't have no gun belt, it's over with. But they could just turn on a light, you'll stop. You conditioned, and you ain't do nothing wrong. You start getting scared and nervous because they done pulled you over, and you fear for your life as a so-called black man or Latino. We that's inherent. But we got to jump on them, if you really think about it, because we're aware of their treatment. And if we wanted to, we know where the police station is. I'm not advocating this, we got this on camera, but I'm not advocating this, but what I'm saying is, we know where they at, but we don't ever do anything. That's a conditioning. The Most High is getting ready to take that spirit off of us. As we comply to his ordinance, he gonna make us that mighty military front again. The same one that left Egypt, the same spirit that Moses had when he saw two men of another nation messing with his people. What did Moses do?
Killed.
He killed
That's
them.
right.
Most High never charged him and said that was murder. Never charged him for murder. He actually got elevated after that. You know what I'm saying? He became a leader. He got his stripes. He done murked two people and then got elevated with his people. We scared. And like I said, I'm not saying, but that time is coming. It's coming, man. Read on.
Verse 35. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face.
Come on.
Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith Yahweh power.
Now, where's the prophecies? Anybody get it real quick? Where it's not even going to be talking about the first deliverance of Egypt. We're going to be talking about the second one. Anybody remember where that is?
Jeremiah 16.
Yeah, grab that for me, Ken.
Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 14.
And look, oddly enough, we talking about military and defense and all this, and we hear these shots in the back. I'm telling y'all, go ahead.
They rehearsing.
They rehearsing to take your stuff that you can't defend. Go ahead.
Start at verse 13. Jeremiah 16 and verse 13. Therefore will I cast you out of this land unto a land that ye know not, neither nor your fathers, and there ye shall serve other gods.
That's us now. Come on.
Day and night,
Come on.
where I will not show you favor.
I'm not going to be with you. If the Most High ain't with you, this is what Tabernacles, if you don't have no favor, you're done. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh,
These days are coming, beloved. Read.
that it shall be no more said that Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
We're not even going to talk about it. Now, think about how powerful that is. Every feast day is related to Israel's exodus from Egypt. But it's getting ready to come a time where, what it say? It's going to be what?
Verse 14, therefore, behold, the days cometh, saith Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
Read on.
Verse 15, but Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north.
From the land of the north. Where's the land of the north?
That's us.
That's us.
No, America.
And that's when he gonna put us back in our own land. That's why this Tabernacles, for me, is just a very prolific Tabernacles, man. When we see what's going over in the Middle East, it's like Jehoshaphat. It's like the Most High is purging that place, and them people scared. And we got brothers in that land now. We got brothers with the spirit of boldness on them that flew over there. That's over there right now. And they say the streets are empty. They out there filming because they know that the Most High is cleaning that place up for us. All praises.
You got precept, brother.
Bring it up.
Zechariah chapter 2, verse 4. And said unto him, Run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem shall be as towns without walls,
Come on.
for the multitude of men and cattle therein. For I say of Yahweh will be unto her a wall of fire round about,
Man, that's happening right now. Come on.
and will be the glory in the midst of her. Verse 6. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north.
There go your Santa Claus right there. Flee from the flee from the land of the north. We getting ready to leave here and get back in the land, man. So this is what Tabernacles is all about. Tabernacles is actually your deliverance from captivity into the land, right? But they don't teach you this in church. They don't teach us that we got a great day coming as a people to get our heritage back. That's what it's all about. But we're going to need the Most High to dwell with us and to be amongst us. So what verse were you at? Was that it?
Ezekiel 20, verse 36. Or you want the one that
Read 36 and 37.
verse 36. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, said Yahweh power.
And how is he pleading with us? By giving us his commandments. That's what he's doing now. Come on.
And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant,
Come on.
and I will purge out from among you the rebels.
Now the disobedient of our people are going to be purged. They're being purged now. They getting purged Saturday night at the club when they get shot and killed. They getting purged when they get in trafficking, taking them out of there, off the streets. I mean, come on, death is amongst our people, man, and the Most High is purging. Read on.
Come. And them that transgress against me, I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that.
So there are going to be people that's going to cleave unto us, of our people, going to want to follow. Hey, look at them doing tabernacle. Hey, can we come over there with y'all? And us being the Israelites that we are, if they adhere to our ways, but it's going to be a lot of rebels. It's rebels amongst us now. It's rebellious to the Most High's laws. There's going to be people complaining out there, it's too hot. I'm too cold. I'm tired of eating this. It's going to be the same thing. But they're not going to inherit the kingdom. You're not going to make it into the land. So prepare yourself now. If you can't deal with outside now, you definitely ain't going to deal with outside later. We outside, right? That's going to have a whole new meaning, brother. We outside, brothers and sisters, we're going to permanently be outside for a while. There ain't going to be no inside. We outside, it's going to change to we inside now. Go ahead, read.
And ye shall know that I am the Most High.
That's it. Give me Leviticus. We already did 23, 34, 6. Give me Leviticus 23, 41.
Leviticus 23:41. And ye shall keep it a feast unto Yahweh 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month.
So that's what we see, that this is a statute forever. So how can, if you cut me off from this, if you disconnect me from this, you disconnect me from my deliverance, you disconnect me from my protection. Not just mine, but my family's, and then generations. Generational, you talk about generational curses. These curses are from the Most High because we haven't kept his ordinance. How long have we been estranged to this? And all the generations before us, that people that died needlessly, when we had the commandment right here. We got his protection right here. And we act like we don't. It's simple, very simple. Nehemiah, give me 8:17 and 18.
Nehemiah 8, verse 17.
Hezekiah, give me John 7. We're going to read 2 and 37. Okay, go ahead.
And all the congregation of them that were come again out of the captivity made booths and sat under the booths. For since the days of Jeshua, the son of Nun, unto that day had no children of Israel done so.
Look at that. It had been a long time, and look how long it had been since our people had done it. You see what I'm saying? But we're doing it now. And the Most High even, it's so important that it's recorded. You see what I'm saying? Of dwelling in booths, man. Was that it on that? Okay.
And there was very great gladness.
Look, this is a day of gladness. You're supposed to be happy. Not looking like y'all finished. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, we was cold.
Y'all look.
We was cold as hell at 5 in the morning, but we happy now.
Y'all happy now. Yeah. We got to keep that state of happiness because guess what? The Most High is dwelling with us. He's amongst us. If it said 2 or 3 are gathered, there he is. What is he there for? To get you a new car? Come on, man. You gotta. That's right. You gotta be festive. A lot of us got long faces because we ain't get the new car. That's at church, right? That's the church look. You know, disgruntled employees. But you lazy as hell. You don't do nothing. Go ahead.
Verse 18. Also day by day, from the first day unto the last day, he read in the book of the law of God.
Come on.
And they kept the feast 7 days.
Look at that. Reading the law. Kept the feast 7 days. How's that done away with? Read.
And on the 8th day was a solemn assembly according unto the manner. That's it, man.
That's important. And let's get to John.
You want John 2 and 7?
Hey, that's a heavy point where he said according to the manner.
John 7.
You know
John
what I'm
7.
saying? Because that's according to the
You want me to read it from the
The
top?
traditions, there you go, which we're supposed to take hold of, like the scriptures say. We're supposed to hold on to those traditions. John 7 and 2. So that you can see that this is even relative to YAHAWAH'S birth and his coming was at Tabernacles. Or when they were seeking him, and even in the spring, his return will be Tabernacles. But his birth was in the spring. It's all feast days. So everything that's going to take place is going to be on these feast days. What happened with what was going on in Israel? If you notice, this stuff started happening in the 7th month, right before the 7th month, right before our Day of Atonement. For us that celebrate the lunar solar Sabbath, they was, who was it? Was it Hezbollah was shooting them rockets?
They got attacked on trumpets.
On trumpets. They got attacked on trumpets. You can't make this stuff up, man. This is we got to start watching these times and the things that the Most High is doing on these feast days. We always got deliverance. We always got destruction. And if they were the real Jews, how could an Iron Dome couldn't protect them on a feast day? That's unheard of. If you were obedient, the scriptures say, "I've never seen the righteous forsaken nor seed begging bread." They was leaving. They was running. The streets are empty right now. You could get a one-way ticket to Israel right now, probably for $2. Go ahead. All expenses paid. Go ahead.
This is John 7 and 2. Now the Jews' feast of tabernacles was at hand. His brethren therefore said unto him, Depart hence and go into Judah.
See, notice my point being that this is even in the New Testament, what they call so-called. Go to verse 37.
Verse 37. In the last day, that great day of the feast, Jesus stood and cried, saying, If any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink.
Don't think about that. He did this on a feast day. And he cried, he taught on that last day. He was assembled because his father told him to do it. And so he was there and he was telling the people the significant, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. Follow these ways. If you're thirsty for the truth, because remember, Israel had been estranged. If you're thirsty for the truth, if you want true deliverance, come to me, ask of me. And he's showing you through his example. Why would you tell people that you don't have to keep this? Because you don't feel like you have any relationship with the Jews. Now that we know that we're the true Jews, this has so much meaning to us. All right? Because the deliverance is for us.
And real quick, you go back to that verse 3. I'm going to read it. And there's one like you were saying. It says, His brethren therefore said unto him, Depart hence and go into Judea. Now, Deuteronomy 16, that was the place that the Most High chose, was in Judea. And it says that thy disciples may also see the works that thou doest. They want to see him keep the feast.
Right.
And that's
right.
how we got to be going back to Creflo, be Christ-like. You got to be doing what Mashiach said.
That's
to keep the commandments.
That's a powerful point. because nobody ever associates the works. That's actually the first time I heard that in that context. The works, you know, a lot of times when you hear about the Messiah, you hear about his miracles. But the works was him observing the feast days too. Those were his works. That's what he's going to give every man according to their works, to what they've done. You know, what's he going to base it on? What Christianity tells you to do? No. Again, you're going to be as your master. You're not going to be above your teacher. You're going to do as he does. All right, let's get Zechariah 14. Y'all know this one, 16 through 19. This is even the importance of tabernacles, because it's synonymous with rulership for us as the Israelites. We're going to be doing this in the kingdom once we get rulership.
Verse 16, Zechariah 14:16. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth.
This is a future prophecy. And you're telling people now that we don't have to keep the feast days. That's crazy, Reed.
And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And
no provision. Read on.
And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague, wherewith the Most High will smite the heathen that came not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
So if you don't acknowledge our rulership, acknowledge our days of those nations that are going to be left, there's going to be no provision for you. And so that tells you this feast is so indicative of rulership, deliverance, identity, but most importantly, relationship with the Most High. And I want to read this, Genesis 6 and 9. I'm going to get a couple more, and then we can meditate on it. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with the Most High. Imagine, walking with the Most High, that's the provision. That's where you're going to be delivered. Nothing is going to be able to take you out, right? You're going to have dominion over your enemies. I'm going to get this other one. Bear with me. We're going to see a pattern of the scriptures wherever the Most High was with us. So just this phrase, God with us. You're going to see this all through the scriptures. Genesis 30 and 20. And Leah said, the Most High have endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons, and she called his name Zebulun. Whenever the Most High is with you, you should automatically, there should be provision for something that was almost impossible. I mean, if you look at our odds right now, it just looks impossible. People will tell you we're crazy if we said we got next. People look at us like we're crazy. We're going to have rulership. We're going to get the kingdom. We've been down so long to where the Apocrypha bears witness that they're going to be in amazement of our salvation. They're going to say, this is the man that we had in derision. Matter of fact, somebody grab that. Get that real quick. The strangeness of our salvation. Go ahead.
Alright. It says, moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. My tabernacle also shall be with them. Yea, I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I, the Lord, who sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore. So it's heavy how we're going into tabernacles.
Right.
And the heathen's going to have, they're going to know that the sanctuary and the tabernacle, when you go into that word sanctuary, it literally means like asylum.
Right.
So like we're gonna be protected by the Most High, and that is our booth. That's our sakat.
That's right.
And the heathen's gonna know that we're the ones inclusive, and they're excluded.
There you go. There you go. That's powerful. Read the one in the Apocrypha. You got that?
Yeah, come.
Bring it out.
Wisdom of Solomon 5. You want me to start at the top?
Yeah, come.
5 and 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
This have to be in Tabernacles, y'all. It's got to be in our deliverance. Come on.
And made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
Come on.
And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for.
They can't even imagine us coming out of this land of the north. They never want to let us go. Come on.
And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision.
We had them guys deceived. They gang violence. They was killing each other. The abortion rate was high. We had them deceived, thinking that Kamala was gonna save them. Obama, Jesse Jackson, all this. We had them. Man, rap music had them all messed up. Come on.
And the proverb of reproach.
Come on.
We fools accounted his life madness.
He's just a nigga. He's a spick. Coons. They madness. Read.
And his end to be without honor.
Come on.
How is he numbered among the children of God?
The ones we had hanging on trees, shooting women in the house, raping, robbing. Bring it out. Woo, you see that part, amazed to see him safe. That's the Most High with us. That's him being with, and you can feel his presence here. The world is all around us, but we're safe in these scriptures, man. We're safe in keeping these commandments. And we'll get back to
add to point to all this of how with Tabernacles and Emmanuel being that God is with us, and that when we keep these appointed feasts, we keep the commandments, how we have that hedge of protection. I just want to get this precept out real quick.
Bring it out.
Judith 5 and 17. And whilst they sinned not before their God, they prospered, because the God that hated iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very soon, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their God was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. In verse 8, when it says, but when they were departed from the way which he appointed them, that's the Most High. He appointed these feast days.
Come on.
For prevalent dollar and all these men to sit up here and say, we don't have to do none of these things. That's just leading us back into the land of our captivity.
That's heavy. That's powerful verse. Again, that's some. It kind of sums up what this day is all about.
It's like that goes to Jeremiah. Most of the wicked pastors that lead the people astray.
Absolutely. That correct
That's
flow.
how you go right back into captivity.
Right. You don't have to do nothing. That's why I said he's deserving of death. He's gonna be purged out in the wilderness. Mahar, you go ahead and finish. Speak up a little bit. We can't hear you. Woo! Woo! Look at that. That's him talk. That's we got to think about that. This is what we have to gain. Exodus 18:19. Hearken now unto my voice. I will give thee counsel, and the Most High shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to the Most High word, that thou mayest bring the causes unto the Most High. And so the Most High is always going to be with us when we're obedient. We see the men of the scriptures that were obedient, and the Most High being with them. We see even with, of course, King Dawud, all the great men, the righteous kings. We saw when they departed, the Most High left them. But when they were in good standings with the Most High, he delivered them. Joshua, excellent example of the Most High being with them, and we get victory over our enemies. I'm going to get one more. Deuteronomy 5:24. Remember, the Most High one time said that his spirit wasn't always going to strive with man. He took his spirit from Israel. All right? That's why King Dawud, when he transgressed, man, please don't take your spirit away, because I won't have any guidance. I won't have no protection. I'm finished. You know, like how some of y'all was looking earlier from last night. Deuteronomy 5:24. And ye said, behold, Yahweh our power hath showed us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. We have seen this day that the Most High doth talk with man and liveth. Now therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us. If we hear the voice of Yahweh our power anymore, then we shall die. So these people, we were scared of his voice, but his voice was, he's that consuming fire for our protection. The only way you're fearing him, and you should fear him, is because you disobey him. But if we're in compliance, man, we don't have no cause but to rejoice, because the Most High is going to be with us by Shema Mashiach YAHAWAH'S. All praises.
All praises.
Hallelujah. So, hey, let's rejoice, man. Let's celebrate Most High being with us. Hey, let's continue on with throughout the day and through these next 7 days. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right. I will say turn up, but y'all already did that, so don't even worry about it.
I'm about to go turn it down. I'm about to go get my seat.
Rejoice.
Hey, somebody got a apocryphal?
Hey, y'all, we can keep this thing going. I'm not gonna close, because we're gonna close it after the 7 days. So we're gonna, we just continue on in the day. This is still open. So if y'all want to discuss, bring up scriptures, you got some questions, we can go ahead and get into it.
75, 76.
Bring it out, Cap.
Now, it just goes into what you was just saying.
All praise.
16, 75, 76.
Come.
All right, this is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 75. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for God is your guide, and the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith Yahweh power. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. Keep going. Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins, and covered with their iniquities, like as a field is covered over with bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns, that no man may travel through. It is left undressed, and is cast into the fire to be consumed therewith.
So just going into that precept based on what you were saying, that the Most High is our guide, when we keep his precepts and his commandments. So
That's right. You think about the confidence that Israel had to go to war, but the odds was always against us. Remember, we were the smallest in number, and he did that for his esteem, for his power. But just like the special forces or a special unit, it's that small unit, man, that think of how sweet that victory is. When they say one man can take a what? Take 1,000. 2, 10,000 to flight. So, that's the stock we come from, but it's only when the Most High is on our side. What you said? Come. Yeah. Anybody else want to bring out precept?
26 and 7. This is Leviticus 26 and 7. And ye shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword.
Think about that. Think about the odds of how small Israel is.
Top 26 from the top.
That's
Verse
a good verse though.
And I will give peace in the land, and ye shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid. And I will rid evil beasts out of the land, neither shall the sword go through your land. Keep going. And ye shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before the sword. And 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight, and your enemy shall fall before the sword.
That's the power of the Most High being with you. And it can only happen when we keep these feast days. That's the camp's mantra right there.
And the Most High shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Most High is great and very terrible.
See, I'm ready to go to battle then. That's what I'm ready to do. When the Most High, we know the Most High is with you, man, I'll be the first one to dive. I dive off my horse right into the midst of everybody. Most High with me. Something gonna happen. Something gonna happen. I'm gonna kill something. Go ahead.
For the day of the Most High is great and very terrible.
Right?
And who can abide it?
Who can abide it, man? That's pure victory. And when you start reading some of the Dead Sea Scrolls, and get into there are things about the army. It talks about the army and the strategies, the children of light, the children of darkness. It's called the War Scrolls, and man, it's really relative to the scriptures and the victories that we had, aforetime. But if you get a chance, look out the War Scrolls, and maybe I'll bring out some of that. Maybe on my car or whatever, we'll bring out some War Scrolls. Yeah, I know you're familiar with it. Go ahead.
Yeah, 1 verse 5. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsaken thee. Be strong and of a good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land, which I swear unto thy fathers to give them.
Remember what was said to David? Show thyself a man. That's the only way. What's that? 1 Kings 2:2.
Yeah.
Grab that real quick. That's the only way we get that power, man. We ain't gonna need no iron dome. All we need is tabernacle. It's a coat. That's it.
This is 1 Kings 2. You want me to start from the top, please?
Start from the top. The
Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of the earth. Be thou strong therefore, and show thyself a man, and keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and commandments and his judgments and his testimonies as written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself.
Think about that. King David, a king, military. Moses was a military commander in Pharaoh's army. Moses was a general, and he came out, and the greatest power. He had the greatest army, earthly wise, probably known to man. Definitely at that time. Egypt was the equivalent to what America would be in terms of military strength. Moses was a general, like a viceroy, and he turned it away. And he didn't lose anything from it. He gained the power of YAHAWAH. Very humble. Goes back to that, the spirit we got to have for the Most High to dwell with us. Moses didn't even want the position. And you got brothers today that's putting crowns on their heads, give me this position, I'm this, I'm that, I'm all that, and 2 bags of chips. All of that nonsense. And, a meek man doesn't desire those seats. Those seats are appointed. Me and Captain Yashuv and Captain Ryan, we talk about that all the time, that you don't take these positions were positions that were given by other men that acknowledged you. You don't take that position and put that title on yourself. And it should be about the work. Yahawashi rejected being called after the order of Melchizedek. He actually rejected that. He didn't want that title because it wasn't time yet. You know, just one time. It's not. I believe what that was Hebrews chapter 5.
It's funny you say that. He always made mention of not being time yet to
Yep.
do the works that he was supposed to do.
It was work first.
The works they thought he was supposed to do.
That's heavy. Because if we ask ourselves the question, what did Yahawashi show us while he was here? He didn't show us his military might first. That's in his second coming. But what he showed us was complete obedience to the Father. It cannot be any honor until there's compliance.
Now, look, you at St. John 7.
Yeah, and 2.
You got St. John's 7 and 6 and 7.
St. John 6 and 7.
St. John 7, well, verse 6 and 7.
Okay, come.
And 7.
This is St. John 7 and 6. Then Jesus said unto them, my time is not yet come, but your time is always ready.
And look, the disciples never put crowns on themselves.
Yeah.
If anybody would think that they was something, it would have been them.
Right.
But they saw his example, and that he was a fugitive in this world. He didn't deliver the kingdom to them yet, you know. But it was preparation. The disciples was rehearsing the righteous acts. Go ahead, read on.
The world cannot hate you, but me it hateth, because I testify of it.
You
that
think, Salaki, not because you think Yahawashi, when he come back ruling, that they gonna be able to persecute him again?
Nope.
Come on. Man, they better not even look like they gonna. So it better not say nothing, because Peter, he gonna let Peter go at that time. He gonna let him go. Go ahead, read on.
The world cannot hate you, but me it hateth, because I testify of it, that the works thereof are evil. Go ye up unto the feast. I go not up yet unto this feast, for my time is not yet full come.
That's talking about
That's talking about
the tabernacle.
the tabernacle. And that's why we know that feast, it will be an advent of his return. Him dwelling with us again. But in complete power. And so that lets us know, how can we assume to have these positions of rulership and leadership, and Yahawashi didn't. And that's not going to be even until he comes back and he puts crowns on your head. You can't put no crown on your head. I can't imagine you standing before him and him smacking that damn crown off you. How far in eternity it's going to go up in the sky? Can you imagine the smack? That give a whole new meaning to laying the smack down. Man, Yahawashi laid a smack. Oh, come on, man. That's ridiculous. He may turn that crown to a planet. He's going to smack it. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Precept.
Go ahead, bring it up.
This is Joshua 24 and 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
God, that's right. That's right. Oh, praise. Oh, yeah. That's right. I'll read 2nd Ezra chapter 2. We'll start at verse 38. Arise up and stand. Behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of Yahweh. Man, look at that. That's boy. Which are departed from the shadow of the world, and have received glorious garments of Yahweh. Take thy number, O Sion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of Yahweh. Verse 41. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of Yahweh, that thy people, which have been called from the beginning, may be hallowed. Verse 42. I, Esdras, saw upon Mount Sinai a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised Yahweh with songs. And in the midst of them there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest. And upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and exalted, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and received palms. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? Verse 47. So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of Yahweh. So the crowns is when YAHAWAH'S put them on you. You don't take that authority. Everybody that put crowns on themselves in the scriptures were evil men. Whenever we were self-appointed, you know, you're not supposed to exalt yourself, and that's of a high rank, or consider yourself a high rank. When we see what happened with the Greeks and the Romans and what's his name, Alexander the Greek, and after him, what did those men do? They put crowns on themselves, and the scripture said evils multiplied in the earth. Notice people that self-appoint, a lot of evils come after that, man. It's a telltale sign, like the Yahweh ben Yahweh's. You know, everybody that's self-appointed. Now you got this one guy running around talking about he's the Messiah. Yeah, man. Those are telltale signs. Men will become lovers of themselves in the last days. Bring it out. Bring it out. Read it like you didn't drink last night.
Sirach chapter 1 verse 30. Exalt not thyself, lest thou fall and bring dishonor upon thy soul.
There you go.
And so the Most High discovered thy secrets and cast them in the midst of the congregation. Because thou camest not in the truth the fear of the Lord, but thy heart is full of deceit.
Man, you're going to see it. We're going to see it. We're going to see men that we believe of, you know, I pray it's none of us, of high stature, and then lose their seat, especially if you exalted yourself. It ain't no place to go but down if you exalted yourself. But if you stay humble, then there ain't no place to go but up. If that's anybody got any questions, any more precepts, we in the spirit. All right, all praises. You got one?
James 4:6. But he giveth more grace, therefore he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble.
To the humble. Yeah. Yeah. That pride, man. Nothing but ego. Yeah, we got to stop it. That's the level. That's right. Yeah.
I got another precept going into what you was talking about the kings, the kings being evil. This is Judges 9 and 22. When Abimelech had reigned 3 years over Israel, then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem. And the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech. So he was one of the Jew kings that were just dealing treacherously. And then I'll jump down to 53, and this is how God handled them, real gangster. And a certain woman cast a piece of millstone upon Abimelech's head, and all to break his skull.
That's powerful. That's powerful. But we're living in a time where, you know, people want counsel, but it's not from the Spirit of the Most High. So you're going to need him to be with you in order to be delivered from evil men, man. Evil men are going to deceive people.
Abimelech? Abimelech, yep.
You can look at it. You should be able to look it up. Right.
I'll jump down to 55. It's 9 and 22 was a start. And
Where you at?
Judges. And then I jump down to 9 and 22.
His name is Father of the King.
Look at that.
Abba Melech.
Yep. Father of the king.
And I got 55 right here. And when the men of Israel saw that Abimelech was dead, they departed, every man unto his place. Thus God rendered the wickedness of Abimelech, which he did unto his father, and slaying his 70 brethren. And all the evil of the men of Shechem did God render upon their heads. And upon them came the curse of Jotham, the son of Jerubbaal. Jerubbaal? Is that how you say it? Jerubbaal? That's it on that.